All right, folks, this is Sultan. And as you guys know, Tommy Robinson has been arrested because apparently he attended a protest against anti Semitism. And he is a very vocal supporter of Israel and speaks against anti Semitism. So, some woke Jews who also happen to be the organizers of those protests, they complained to the police that Tommy Robinson, if he turns up, he's going to be distressing the participants of that protest. So a large number of people turned up and he was arrested. The whole event was filmed. And Tommy Robinson, he's fast becoming a folk hero. And he asked all the people, he said, am I causing distress or am I alarming you or anything? And people started chanting in his favor. People said, well, we love you, Tommy, you know, you're great, blah, blah, blah.
What are you doing? Shame on you! Shame on you!
Okay. I'm just here to do my job, lads.
He's done nothing wrong! Why are you so frightened to have it?
Do we have freedom of the press or not?
So anyway, so he was escorted away. He was pepper sprayed, as usual stuff. You could see two-tiered policing. That's what Suella Braverman said. There's one set of rules. We've seen the Met Police begging people, standing on British war memorials, desecrating them. Please come down. This is not appropriate behavior.
Please come down, sir.
So they do that. Then on the other hand, with someone like Tommy Robinson, who's just there doing his civic duties as a journalist, as a freelance journalist, and doing it, just interviewing people. And people he actually don't have any beef with. But we live in very funny times. Everything this woke mob disagrees with labels you the far right. And a lot of people have been guilty of assuming that Tommy Robinson is a member of the far right group. And to be honest, every person that I've ever spoken to, I've gotten in a conversation with them about Tommy Robinson, and I've said, give me one piece of evidence where he is a far right white supremacist bigot. They haven't been able to give me anything. And I think I've changed a lot of people's opinion about Tommy Robinson as well. But this is not what I'm saying. My point is why these titles are important. These titles are important because if you call a normal centrist conservative is in the center of the right, if you're going to label him the far right bigot, then what's the difference between a real far right bigot and someone who's a sensible person who's on the right at the center? What's the difference? There is no difference. In fact, we are now entering a territory where people like me who are center left, and I have some opinions on transgender people in sports, and obviously uncontrolled migration. Someone like me who's a classical liberal, who's a globalist, who wants European Union, etc. Even I'm a far right bigot, or at least someone who appeases the far right. So why are these titles are important? Because, as I said, look at this guy. This guy's James Goddard. So I wouldn't go into unnecessary detail. There's a Muslim apologist, Dilly Hussain. He challenged Tommy Robinson for a boxing match and he declined or something. So in response, this guy, James, who is self-confessed far-right person, who is against all migration, who doesn't like any non-white person, he challenges Dilly Hussain for a fight. And Dilly Hussain declines. The point here is this guy's he's cussing out Tommy Robinson and Paul Golding. I don't know much about Paul Golding, so I'm not going to call him whether he's a far right or he's not, because these days everyone who is accused of being a far right most likely isn't. So we can only go by what people say from their own mouths. I think this is a good principle. And you know why that is important? Because every person who believes in something, he professes that with his mouth. He wants other people to come to his side. You know of me as an ex-Muslim atheist. Yeah? I've spread the critique of Islam far and wide. I've been doing this for 5 years. Now, if someone says Haris is deep down inside, Haris is actually a Muslim, what good is me being a Muslim when I'm actually swaying people away from Islam? Meaning, you can only go by what people profess openly. Tommy Robinson has said so much that is not in line with the far-right agenda. But then you have other people who actually say from their own mouth that they are neo-Nazis. They are the far-right white supremacists. So you have left no difference between Tommy Robinson and a real far-right bigot. So that's why I think the world is going to shit. And that's the reason we have spoken about previously as well, that these people are doing more damage. They are pushing people towards the right, which could end up, if you push people who are on the center and you push them towards the right, then people who are already on the right are going to go further towards the right. So this is why we're seeing the rise of Geert Wilders. We're going to see a lot more right-wing political parties coming to power, and also we're going to see some social upheaval as well, like we saw in Ireland. I mean, what do you make out of all of this, what I've said?
See, this is the problem with a lot of leftist groups. So the group that organized this march, I think it's called the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism. Is that correct? The CAA. And you're saying that they are mostly a leftist group, right? And the Puritanism within a lot of these groups makes it so difficult for them to grow and for them to find allies, because they keep eating their own. Not only the people who might want to come and find reasons to unite over common agreements, they attack even the people that are ideologically very close to them over the smallest issues. This is something I see constantly within leftist groups. So let alone somebody who is like Tommy Robinson, with a lot more differences, which this is very sad, because if you are an organization that is trying to spread certain ideas and try to make them more prevalent in society, what's the point of just gathering people who already agree with you? Aren't you trying to increase that idea? If you're trying to increase that idea, shouldn't you be increasing it in groups of people who are outside of your circle? Like, what if you had a march and you already have people joining in there that are already against anti-Semitism? Isn't the whole point of this march and this activism is to grow that view? So what if people come from outside of that circle, coming in, trying to, they're holding out their arm and like, okay, we might have disagreements, we agree on this, and you reject that, then what is the point of the march? What is the point of your activism? And what is the signal that you're sending from other people who might be more right leaning, that we don't welcome you? How are you supposed to grow? How are you supposed to actually? So Tommy Robinson is somebody who's not an anti-Semite, but there are many people within the right-leaning groups, within those right-leaning groups, that are anti-Semite, and they might consider changing their opinions. But what are you signaling to them? Like, no, you're all dirty. We do not welcome you. We will hold your past against you forever, even when we have causes to unite. No, because you don't belong in our tribe, it's taboo to even be seen next to you. So you are creating a no motivation for them to stop being alt-right. For people who are actually alt-right, when they see how you treat people that are even closer to you in their ideology, what motivation would they have to stop being alt-right if you're treating somebody like that? Again, I'm not saying Tommy Robinson is all his views are correct and that you have to agree with everything he says. But that's how activism moves forward. You find commonalities. I'm an anti-Islam activist. I'm an atheist against Islam. I find commonality even with Muslims. I work with Muslims over things that we could agree on. You are fighting, your entire organization is fighting for anti-Semitism. Shouldn't, if somebody comes from those circles where anti-Semitism is prevalent, but he himself is not an anti-Semite, wouldn't that be the most ideal person to spread your fight against anti-Semitism? Wouldn't that be the best candidate? Are you just trying to virtue signal, or are you trying to make a difference? Make a choice.
Yeah, you just summed it up perfectly. They are virtue signaling leftist wokes who want to tell everyone how self-righteous they are. They're saying, well, you know what? If you're even accused of racism, we don't want your support. Screw you. And again, this is what's broken with the West. And then they wonder why there's so many people who are speaking up against the status quo, against everything. The whole political spectrum is broken. The whole political establishment is broken. We've got Conor McGregor now breathing down the necks of the Irish established government. Frankly, I've been saying this for a very long time. I think Muslims have played their hand way too soon. I don't see this is going to be a good thing. Unfortunately, in some of those Irish riots, some of the messages that I heard on Telegram, I don't know if you've heard them or not. They said one of the guys was saying that when they form mobs, then of course it's gonna get rough. This is a total breakdown of law and order. Some of the messages were, if you see any foreigner, he said that. This guy said that. And that message was shared by on Telegram channels by so many people. Imagine I think they've arrested 35 people. Imagine this turns into 1,000, 2,000 people. And again, what you said before, that it's not about how true a certain rumor is. It's about how willing these people are in believing in that. So that Algerian guy who stabbed children and a woman and a man, it might not have anything to do with Islam, or it might not have anything to do with migration. He might have been living there for God knows who long. Who knows? It's irrelevant. What matters is that you have created an environment where this anti-migrant, especially anti-Muslim migrant sentiment has been simmering beneath the surface for many years, and you've done absolutely nothing other than appeasing those people, and any criticism of that policy, you've shut them down. So as a result, there's this resentment growing in the community, where the community says that, whether that's true or not, whether that rumor there was a migrant or not, let's just say some white dude killed someone, and then a rumor starts that a migrant killed a little baby. What are you going to do then? A mob of 2,000-3,000 people get out on the streets and they kill some innocent foreigner, some Hindu brown who happens to be a brown guy, looks like a Muslim from Pakistan. So that was very profound what you said in one of my earlier videos, that it doesn't matter whether those stats that Geert Wilders is presenting are fully honest or not. It doesn't matter. What matters is how willing are people to believe them. I think that's what matters, and that's a very dangerous thought.
The point I'm trying to make is that the resentment is there, and a lot of it, we will disagree with the conclusions of those resentments, right? And the way that they want to express it. But just calling these people, dismissing it and condemning it, and just calling these people far right, it will just add to the resentment. You're not solving the underlying issue. You're not solving all the hate that is spreading in society. You cannot just wish these people away because you just labeled, just stick a label on it and wish it away. That's not going to happen. You have to actually talk to these people. You have to address them. Even with their wrong views, you have to treat them like human beings that have opinions, and you have to take their opinions seriously, or else it's just going to grow. You could just point your finger and call them far right or bigots, but it's just going to grow.
Racist.
You can't wish these people, or racist. You can't wish these people away. You actually have to start a conversation with them.
All right, people, hope you liked today's video. If you want to support my channel, like, share, and subscribe. And also, you can be my patron by going to patreon.com/Haris Sultan. And you can also subscribe to Atheist Republic's YouTube channel, founded by our very own Armin Navabi. He carries out these conversations quite regularly, and I'm sure you'll love his analysis.
No, thank you. Thank you.
All right, people, until next time, ta-da, bye-bye. If you'd like to support my work, you can become my patron by going to patreon.com/Haris Sultan, or you can simply buy me a coffee.